like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long,
salute.
A long time coming.
We're gonna slow walk this conversation.
But I know
we're gonna do this slowly.
A change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother.
It's definitely a good song. Definitely a good song.
And I say, brother, let me
I hope y'all ready for this conversation. I hope y'all ready for this one.
Back down on me. Oh, there been times that I thought I couldn't last for long. I'm able, Father, to carry on. It's been a long
We're gonna start in just a minute.
A long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes it is, yes it is, yes it is.
Salute to the chat. I see y'all.
I know that a change is gonna come.
We're gonna start in 1 minute.
I know a change gonna come. Yes, it is. I know. So I can be home. Oh yeah. And times can get rough, but still I know. I know a change gonna come. Oh, 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 oh. It will. Yes, it will. Yes, it
Let's get started. I'm doing this a little bit different right now. I got the camera kind of facing in a different direction. What I want you guys to do is kind of focus on my voice. I was debating if I really wanted to address this situation or not, but I think that in order for tough love to really hit home, you got to bring it home. So I was having a conversation with another content creator who follows Kwame Brown and the most hated blogger. And on her channel, she kind of gives her point of view about both men. And she asked a very important question, but instead of just leaving this on Kwame Brown and leaving this on the most hated blogger, I'm also going to include myself in the things that I'm about to say. All right? Are we the men Let me rephrase that. Are we the examples of the men that we say that are real men? Do we promote that realness? Do we promote that integrity? Do we promote that genuineness? Do we promote that respect? Are we the examples we want other men or other young men to look at and say, that is right? That is what we should be doing. Are we the examples? I would ask you guys, if you guys are not going to be here to listen, then this is your perfect chance to exit, because I think I'm about to say some things that really need to be said. Are we the examples of the men that we're supposed to be? Now, I hear a lot of talk about, this is not how men act, and this is not what men do, and this is not what men say. And my thought process is, do we hold our own self responsible for the things that we say? Do we hold our own selves responsible for the things that we do? Now, I got an opportunity to kind of see both gentlemen, because I had unsubscribed from a few people. So I wanted to kind of, before I spoke on this, I wanted to see certain things and hear certain things or whatever, so that way I could be fair and impartial. So now that I got the information, the thought process is, are we the examples of the men that we say that we are? Now, this is not in straight direct to Kwame Brown, ain't in straight direct to the most hated blogger. This is for all of us as men, all of us as content creators. Are we promoting a narrative? Are we pushing rhetoric that is about positivity? Are we pushing rhetoric that is about building? Are we pushing rhetoric that is about communication? Are we doing the right things? This is just a general conversation. Are we doing the things that we say is what real men do? I think we're under this impression that for some people, it's more important to talk about what real men do than versus being the example for real men, and myself included. I think it's very important to outline and say, well, from my point of view, from my life experience, from my education base, from my common sense, this is what real men do. And the thing about it is, it's like when you sit back and you listen, I want you to ask yourself, do you want your boyfriend, do you want your husband, do you want your child to act like these men that you see online? So I'm having this conversation with this content creator, whatever, and she's like, man, you know what? I'm not impressed. I'm not elated. I'm not excited to see these men speak, because it's like, one minute we're talking about how men act, how men should be, what men should take care of, how men should carry themselves, and then the next minute is something totally different than what we've said. Are men required to be consistent? That's the question for the chat right now. Do you think that men are required to be consistent in what they say? That means I stand on what it is that I say, and I mean what it is that I say, and on a consistent basis. Well, your next question probably would be, well, nobody's perfect. I get it. But should there be a consistent level of consistency? Empress says, most people today don't know what it means anymore to be a man. Well, that's the conversation. That's the conversation. That's why we're here right now. What does it mean to be a real man? Does it mean you're a real man if you got a good credit score? Does it mean you're a real man because you joined the military, or because you played in the NBA, or because you're a lawyer, or because, what does being a real man actually mean? And whose example of being a real man is right? Ralph says, say what you mean and mean what you say. Salute to everybody coming in the building. I'm hoping that we can have a conversation again. This is not a take a shot at anybody. I'm throwing myself in the pot as well, and we mixing this thing up to have this conversation, because I think it's needed. We hear a lot of men talk about, this is how men act, this is how men's supposed to be, etc., etc., etc. But for some reason, the consistency level, the level of, this is the standard that we uphold, for some reason I feel like on a daily basis we fall short of that. And I want to ask content creators right now, especially men and women, do you feel that the men are falling short of being real men and promoting what it is that men need to be online? the examples. It says, I don't think it says a such thing as being a real man. They just say it's to build their way of thinking of. Okay, but here's the thought process. When we talk about men, we know men are providers, men are protectors, men are role models, men are leaders. So the thought process is right now, I want you to think about all the content creators, myself included. I am not throwing myself out the pot, myself included. Do you feel that these men are examples of what men are? These men are leaders, these men are protectors, these men are providers, these men are role models. That's what this conversation about. Do you feel like these men are spot on? These are men that you want your sons to listen to, right? Your boyfriends, your husbands to listen to and say, yeah, they're going to have the real conversation. They're going to be consistent in the things that they're saying. They're not about the jokes. They're not about the games. They're not about the name calling. These are real men with a real mission to build our community, to set an example for the United States of America, to show that these are real men. I'm just asking real simple questions. Real simple questions. Somebody said no. I don't think that. Well, for the people that say yes, for the people that say no, my thing about it is I want to throw this out there because I really want to, help foster a better perspective. I've seen so much from men on social media that it raises a red flag. That I'm nervous about men coming across men's platforms and thinking that these are real men. I'm throwing myself in the pot too, because I had to sit back and I had to assess my channel. And I said, well, if someone was to come across my channel and say, okay, obviously this is a black male content creator, what message am I sending to people? Am I talking about people's kids? Am I talking about people's court proceedings? Am I joking on people's relatives? Like, what am I doing? Am I setting a tone for the conversation? And I feel like a lot of tones are being set. And there's a lot of definitions of what real men are supposed to be. And the thing about it is, it's like, I noticed that everybody's definition, it's always catered to overlooking what they do and how they hold themselves responsible for how they speak. Like, I'm going to use my definition to allude that whatever I do, that still puts me in the running for being a real man. 314 Mike says, you have to understand when it comes down to the internet, most stuff is done to get the check, not to be real. Good job, Mike. I understand that. I understand that, man. And I'm hoping you guys ain't not feeling like, oh, this is an attack video, because it's not an attack video. This is about us as men. Are we the examples that we say that we are? We give our definitions out on our platforms. This is what a real man do. And we make up all of these catchy phrases for anybody that we say that are not like us. And my thought process is, should we be like you? Are you the example? You know what? Self stuff 817, you were exactly right. They are confusing. It's confusing. What's the example? If you have black women look at these men, and I'm saying these men as in I and them, right? Them and me. When they look at us, when black women sit down and look at us, what example are we setting for our community to follow? I'm gonna be honest with you. I see some men, when they give their definition about what black men should be, steadily attacking gay people. I see some men giving their definition about what black men should be, steadily attacking people's relatives. I see some people giving examples about X, Y, and Z, and they're steadily doing things that to me take away from any identity of being a real man. I'm just saying. And I hear you, Stan Smiley. I hear you, but this is not to call him or her, you know what I'm saying? Well, him. any type of names. I'm talking about us as a whole. Do you feel proud of what we do as content creators, as men on social media? Look, we could just narrow it down to YouTube. Are you guys proud of what we're doing? I sat back and to me, I'm so disappointed because I feel like we have so much creativity, so much power, so much leadership, so much courageousness. We have so many things that we bring to the table. But to me, we falter at simple mistakes, simple things that we can change. Like I hear men say, I would be more positive, but I don't get paid when I'm positive. I don't get donations when I'm positive. And to me, that's sad because if you are a man, then you don't care about donations. It's not just for donations. It's about really building. So I guess I'm kind of confused on these definitions that's being provided on what real men do, what real men say, and how real men act. I'm confused for a lot of reasons. Where are we trying to go with this? I mean, honestly, where are we trying to go with this? Is it for clicks? Is it for views? Is it for donations? Or is it really to try to say, you know what, man, I can sit here and every man that I'll break down, I call out a list of 10 men and I guarantee 5 of the things that I say that's affecting the black community or men in general, 5 of them, everybody gonna say the same thing. But that's not what we talk about. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we talk about. That's not what we try to build. Because if I say, well, I know 5 problems that really exist, not only in our communities, but here in the United States of America, my thought process is talking about your relatives going to fix these problems? Is embarrassing you online going to fix these problems? Is calling you names going to fix these problems? Is downgrading you as a man or downgrading you as a father or a husband going to fix these problems? To me, as men, we do more, especially straight men. We do more to talk about and bash the gay community than we do to fix our own communities. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. We do more to talk about, you know what I'm saying, DJ Academics and DJ Vlad and all of these other people. To me, my thought process is, what are we doing? What does our content say about us and where we stand as men? And in my thought process, men, black women or women in general, are you guys excited to listen to content of men going at it back and forth with each other? Or is that what men do? You're exactly right, Refuse to Lose. We have work to do. I mean, I think we do a good job at talking about distractions and we talk about drama and we talk about negativity. And like you said, it allures some and the most. And the thing about it is, why? If men are supposed to be leaders, shouldn't we be leading people away from distractors, away from negativity, away from gossip, away from drama? Shouldn't we be saying, well, that's not what men do? Regardless of what walk of life you come from, regardless of what career path you have, regardless if you was in prison, not in prison, or you was in the military, not in the military, but just as a man, we should know and do better. So my thought process is, when do we get to that? When do we get on the same accord? And that's what this conversation is about. Are we the examples that we say that we are? Every content creator gives this, I heard Hassan Campbell say it, Tommy Sotomayor, Kwame Brown, Kevin Samuels, myself. I've heard all of these men give examples of what real men are and what real men do. So now the question really is do we promote the same consistency? Do we keep the same energy on what real men do? Why would women want to see men beef online? Why would you want to see us call each other names? Why would you want to see, well, let me get these men over here and we're going to team up on these men over here, or we're going to go, like, my thing, wouldn't you think that's a waste of time? And are these the men that you consider role models? Not just for your community, but for relationships. Salute to everybody in chat. I see y'all. I'm kind of trying something different right now. Instead of having the camera on me, I'm just turning it away. I really want you guys to hear what I'm saying, and I'm hoping that this is not it's not too many distractors that come in, because you know how people listen to reply but they don't listen to comprehend, and I really want some comprehension right now because I think it's important. I was like, I don't have any sons, but my thought process, suppose I wasn't in the NBA. Suppose I wasn't in the NBA, but suppose I wasn't in prison. Suppose I wasn't, a lawyer. Suppose I wasn't a relationship coach. And my thought process is, if my son listened to you, what would he get from you? If my brother listened to your content, what would he get from your content? If my sister listened to you and say, you know what, would she say, I'm looking for a man like that? Well, what does your content promote? What does it actually stand for? To me, you can't have 100 hours worth of drama and 1 hour worth of positivity. I think us as men, we fail to be consistent. We fail to hold, because for some reason, the accountability piece, we throw that out the window. Okay, let's throw the accountability piece out the window. Let's not even talk about accountability. Let's talk about consistency. Are we consistent with being the real men that we say this is the definition that defines what real men are? Are we consistent? I think that's fair. So this goes towards every content creator right now that says, hey, I'm a real man and this is my definition. Well, do you uphold that definition on a consistent basis? Do you uphold that definition? Or do you only use the definition in conjunction with, well, this is how I prove that I'm better than you? I think there's a lot of condemning going on online. I think there's a lot of disrespect going on online. I think there's a lot of nonsense going on online. And I think people willingly wake up and go live on social media to promote it. And for some reason, the real women, the real women, the grown women, the educated women, the loving women, the supportive women, the entrepreneur women, the brave women, right? They don't say, we don't want to see y'all do that. They don't say, hey, stop. This is nonsense. This is not how real men act. This is not the example we want to see. But for some reason, it is. I hear you. I hear you. Don't go to those places anymore. I hear you. I hear you. And I think for some, that pride themselves on having some type of positive mental aspiration, you try not to indulge in a bunch of negativity. But I just thought that this video was necessary because I just wanted to ask, to these guys that I'm mentioning right now, and including myself, I had to do a self-evaluation and say, well, am I the example of what I say a real man is? Am I doing the real man stuff that I project on to other people, that I say this is what real men do? Am I being consistent? And if I'm not being consistent, hey, do I have anybody in my chat? Do I have anybody in real life that's a part of my support system, my family, my friends, my coworkers, or whatever? Do I have anybody saying you're not being consistent and this is why you're not being consistent, but this is how you could be more consistent? Do I have any truth tellers in my life for real? A lot of women say they don't want to get between men handling their business. You know what? I think that's a cop-out. I think it's a cop-out. And I'm going to tell you why. If you can sit there and you can listen to men go at it, you also can be a person that says, hey, I'm not here to navigate or negotiate or mediate, but I will tell you, stop. It's BS. There's a better way to handle things. I'm not going to sit in your chat room. I'm not going to donate to your platform. I'm not going to share this nonsense. I'm going to tell you that if this is how you carry yourself, I know that mentally you're not where you're supposed to be. You can be where you need to be financially, but mentally doesn't mean you are where you're supposed to be. So my thought process is sometimes this is where we kind of get it confused. I am not going to circumvent a woman's knowledge because I'm a man. That means whether she has a level of institutional knowledge, common sense, life experience, etc., etc., etc. Advice can come from anybody. Advice can come from anywhere. Just because you give your advice don't mean you're trying to run men or you're trying to run women. For most, hell, let's back it up a little bit. For some, it just means that you want to see better because you know that betterment is the way to go. Everybody they don't want to see people go at it. Everybody don't want to see people's family get talked about. Everybody don't want to see people get joked on and character get disrespected. Everybody don't want that. And if you don't want that, they say silence, ladies and gentlemen. Silence is compliance. So when you're sitting back and you're watching something saying, I don't want to get involved because X, Y, and Z, it's always an excuse of why you don't want to get involved, right? I'm a woman, I'm a man, and that's woman business. So that's man business. So that's white people business. So that's black people business. It's always the good people that allow bad shit to happen. I'm just saying. Salute to the chat. I see y'all. If you consider yourself to be a good person and it comes across your attention, it comes into your scope of view, then why not say anything? I would rather say something than say nothing. And I think that's the purpose of this Tough Love channel. It's not just to bring the conversation to me. It's also to say, hey, look, hey, this came into my range of scope. Now, either directly or indirectly, but I just want to ask this question to these male content creators. And again, I had to do a self-evaluation before I even done this video. I want to ask you guys, are you the example that you say that real men are? Because if it's all about views, it's all about donations, it's all about subscribers, then me personally, I would rather for you just to say that up front. But see, sometimes when people talk long enough, they tell on themselves. And when you do those things, I totally understand where you're coming from. I totally get it. I totally do. When you're promoting getting donations, you're promoting doing X, Y, and Z, but you know you're not promoting this definition of being a real man. You know that you're not promoting a level of consistency. I get it. I get it. So now I know this is a person not to take serious. This is a person not to take serious. This is a person that I know for a fact my son or my daughter do not need to listen to. This is somebody I don't need to be subscribed to, because if you don't take my time serious, see, I'm about to piss somebody off. That's the real situation. You don't take my time serious. You value being negative over positive, and you guys think that that is something magnificent. Salute, salute. Think about that. Imagine someone valuing being negative on a consistent basis over being positive, and you guys saying, well, this is all for me. This is at my expense, my time. Well, here's the great thing about it. There's things called assets and liabilities, and here on Tough Love, we talk about those things. Are these things an asset to your life? Regardless of this minuscule entertainment that we say it's entertainment, because there's a lot of things we can do to entertain ourselves. Go to the zoo, go to the museum, travel. There's a lot of great positive things that we could do, but we find that grown men bickering back and forth, talking about one another, we find that to be so exciting and magnificent, and that makes men men. And I don't think, no definition that I've ever heard of men, that's what they do. I think when you value your time, you value your family, you value your friends, you value what you do in entrepreneurship, whether it's work for someone else or work for yourself. The fact of the matter is, you know that your time is precious, so you don't waste your time frivolously. Like it's cool every now and then. You know, we want to go to the club, we want to turn up. You know, we want to go to the strip club, we want to throw a couple dollars, but doing it every day, Somebody asked me and said, man, won't you go at this person and won't you do this and won't you do that? And I said, everything that you're mentioning right now devalues my time. Everything that you're mentioning right now devalues my time. I can't take that message nowhere. I can't listen to that message with nobody around me, because the people around me, they talking about business. They're talking about making money. They're talking about traveling. They're talking about, you know what I'm saying, entrepreneurship. They're talking about others. I can't say I'm beefing with such and such online and that makes me a good man, because the definition of man, that don't fit into being a provider. It don't fit into being a protector. It don't fit into being a role model. And it definitely don't fit into being a leader. So that goes against what it is that I say the definition for being a man is. And that's why I'm asking this question to other men. That's why I'm asking this question to other men. Do you feel that your definition of what a man is, you represent that on a consistent basis? I think that's real. I think that's reasonable. Are we doing what we say a real man does? Or are we wasting our time going back and forth with nonsense? Are we being reminded by real men to do real men shit? But see, here's my thought process. I think that valuing negativity and donations mean we don't have to value our subscribers' time. That's what I think. I think when you find men that value donations and likes and views over your time as a subscriber, I don't care if you're feeding your family. I don't care if you think positive. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur. I don't care if you're traveling. I don't care if you think positive. I don't care about none of that. Let me give you this drama. Let me bring this drama to your life, because this is real entertainment. This is real funny. Sometimes I think I wonder, do people sit down with their husband and wives and listen to these content creators, or do they sit down with their new boyfriend or their girlfriend, or do they sit down at work and say, man, I really get something from this. This really encourages me to go fight cancer. This really encourages me to beat C19. This really encourages me to start loving again. It really encouraged me to have a positive attitude about life. It really encourages me. And I started to think, I was like, what can you get from this? What can you get from this? It's not about who's better than who. The thought process is, whatever your definition of being a real man, are you consistent with that definition? Forget tough love. Who the hell is tough love? Forget his definition and what he thinks, because tough love's definition of what a real man is based on his life experience, based on his common sense, based on his institutional knowledge, and based on his street sense. But everybody has a different point of view, and that's great. That's great. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to agree. But the fact of the matter is, are you consistent with your individual definition? I think your subscribers have a right to know. They have a right to know. Do you feel like you're consistent with what you say as a man? Because we use a lot of things. We use a lot of gimmicks these days. And I say, and I'm going to call some things out real quick or whatever. But it ain't to just point at certain things. But I'm going to use it because I know this is a great point of reference. But like we talk about Weak Weasel Wednesdays and beta males. And we talk about, you know, we use these things. And my thought process is, how do you know that you're better than the men that you say that you are? How do you know that? Well, somebody would say, well, how do you know, tough love? Well, this is how I would know. If I say that men are supposed to be protectors, providers, and role models, here's the thing, right? Normally, we don't get a lot of men protecting their community. Let's just be real. You protect your children, right? I don't deal with people's personal lives, so that's not my avenue. So I'm not worrying about that. Being a provider. Now, I don't know if you're providing for your people or you're not. So again, that's personal. That has nothing to do with me. But let's get into some other things. Role models and leaders. Well, that's where I come in at. That's where I come in at. Okay, well, do I feel like I'm a leader? I'm a proven leader. Do I feel like I'm a role model? I'm a proven role model. So now I can start holding people to a certain level of understanding now. Now I have a base to go off. And my thought process is based on all of the men, all of the male content creators. Do you hold yourself to a certain level? Do you carry yourself with a certain level of respect? Do you speak with a certain level of common sense? I feel sorry for any content creator who has to sit online and go back and forth with other people. I feel sorry for you because I know that it's a waste of time. It has to be a waste of time because it's counterproductive. And for the people that cheer and root and donate to those things, it's interesting. I even had some content creators that they follow me, but they don't follow me like that. And I don't even want to, let me don't say follow. I don't want to say follow. They're subscribed to me, right? And I mentioned this before. Like I see a lot of people where these men are kind of going back and forth. Like those content creators are heavy in their chat rooms. They're heavy in their chat rooms, right? Especially when I was subscribed to these people, I used to see them heavy in their chat rooms, but for some reason they'll come over here and they wouldn't be heavy in this chat room. And I used to sit back and I say, well, what is it that I'm not doing that these men are doing? And the keynote is beefing. The keynote is promoting drama. The keynote is gossiping. And instead of us looking at what could be assets to our lives, for some reason, people come to social media. I don't know. Maybe it's to escape their life. Maybe their life is that bad. Maybe their life is that bad that they just need something to escape from. Well, here's the thing. You can read a book. You can take a boat ride. Take a long drive. Have a conversation. Go to Starbucks and have a conversation with a stranger. Go to the zoo. Go to the museum. You know, take a flight somewhere. Go to Vegas. You can do so many things other than compiling more negativity on whatever negative is in your life. I get it. Some people want an escape. A walk. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You can have a walk. You can take a walk. You can do things that's free. That doesn't have any monetary value, but it gives you peace of mind. And I understand because we all do. We all got things that we have going on in our life that we just want to escape for that 5 minutes, an hour, 3 hours, 4 hours, for however long you think you need to escape for. You want that sense of reprieve. You want to know that somebody else is going through some drama too. Am I right? I ain't the only one going through some shit. Right? And I get it. But see, here's the thing. Sometimes we have to learn to deal with our problems. And how we deal with those problems is listening to someone that's going to help us navigate through those problems. Now, it might not be a tough love. It might be a grandma. It might be an uncle. It might be a sibling. It might be a coworker. But it's going to be someone that says, let's look at your situation and figure out a way forward. And even if I can't help you, at least I'm here to hear you vent. Listening to other people's problems when you got problems don't fix your problems. God, I wish I could see the water. I was going to give y'all some water. It's a hard pill to swallow. Listening to everybody else's drama and gossip doesn't fix your problem. We can laugh at other people's pain. We can cheer for other people's nonsense. We can cheer for other people's gossip. We can cheer for other people's disrespect. We can listen and cheer for people talking about people's kids and talking about people's wives and husbands and where they work and doxing them. But that ain't gonna fix your problems. Your personal problems. When you log off, you still got to go back to whatever problems you had in real life in real time. Sometimes we got to want to do better, and not only want to do better, but we got to take the steps to do better. So I encourage everybody who has a platform, who feels like, you know what, man, am I the definition of what a real woman or a real man is, or what a man is, or what a woman is? Now, again, being a man or a woman doesn't make you perfect, but are you consistently trying to be better? And I'm going to be honest with you. I think social media has given us this outlet where we don't have to be consistent with being better. We don't. We don't have to be consistent with being better. We can say whatever and do whatever. If I sat right here and I talked about people's kids and I talked about their mama and their daddy and you know where they work and what they going through and of course if I did those things, it would be people applauding me and rooting and cheering me on. Go tough love, go tough love. But the fact that I don't do those things, which is interesting to me, it's like you damned if you do or you're damned if you don't. But my thought process is, are we going to be the example of the definition that we say real men are? Real men carry themselves accordingly. Somebody say, no, bro, you got to have street cred. You got to be, you know, you got to be locked up to be a real man. You got to smoke weed to be a real man. You got to drink Hennessy to be a real man. You got to talk about hoes to be a real man. You got to be in a strip club to be a real man. You got to be driving, bro. You got to put 26s on your truck, bro. You got to have a sound system to be a real man. And it's like all of these derogatory real man statements versus just being real and genuine. Just be real and genuine. And when you real and when you genuine, you don't do certain things. You don't indulge in certain things. You don't allow the men around you to indulge in certain things because you know that's not what we do. That's not what we do. If I'm gonna talk shit, we playing basketball. We playing football. Hell, I don't even play a PlayStation like that, but I get on some sticks. Let's go. But I'm not going to do anything to bash you and bring you down and embarrass you in front of other people. To me, it's like, is that what men do? What definition is that? What definition is that? Even when I played football, you know what I'm saying? We used to, of course, the offense versus the defense, of course, and then after practice, we'll all come back together. But here's the thought process. We're all men. Some of us have been given silver spoons. Some of us have gotten it out the mud. Some of us have went to this career. Some of us have went to that career. Some of us ain't never had a career. Some of us went to jail. We're all different types of men. But the thing about it is, the medium for men is we shouldn't be promoting nonsense. There's no real man out there, definition, should ever say we as men like to promote nonsense. We're consistent with nonsense. So I guess I'm just confused with some of the things that I've recently seen. Is this what real men do? Are we, notice I said we, are we examples of the definition that we use to promote in front of our subscribers and to our subscribers? Are we the real men we speak of? Are we the good examples of what real men are? Lovely says, I was told that I was a nothing and a nobody because I never been to jail. I had the nerve to feel bad. Oh my God, I'm gonna get to that, Lovely. Then I said, wait a minute, why are you feeling bad? Example. You know what's so funny to me, man? I noticed that when you don't want to sit in your sorrow, when whatever was done to attack you, you don't want to sit there and act like, well, you're deserving of it. You should run away and be quiet or whatever it is. It's like this, Lovely, just like you said. Why would you feel bad? Going to jail, I'm telling you right now, and this is for people that I know for a fact. Not even jail. Jail ain't prison. Going to prison. No one that I know, okay, that went to prison uses it as a badge of honor. If some type of way, especially if you're an African American, you've avoided going to prison, congratulations, good for you. Good for you. Because it was said to me or said about me the fact that I went to the military and another man went to prison, that man was better than me some type of way, shape, form, or fashion. And I was like, huh? Where they do that at? We've said numerous times that the kids that go to college, they don't get the parties like the people coming home for prison get. They get more people coming home for prison get more celebrated than the people that go to college. And then the people that go to college, it's almost like, well, we're going to crack jokes on you, call you a bookworm or a nerd because you went to try to better yourself. Is this what men do? Ladies and gentlemen, we are up against so much nonsense on a regular basis. And it's not just because we're black. It's just because we are ignorant to the fact of what better looks like. What better looks like. There's no examples. Everyone's scared to be positive. Everyone's scared to do better. Everyone's scared to say, man, let's build for real. And even if I don't want to build with everybody else, my little piece of earth, my little piece or a small channel, at least I can start here. And I think that's exactly what ToughLove is doing. And I see a lot of other content creators who care about what they say, who value the message that they put out, and really don't want to get involved in a whole lot of nonsense. But I feel like I'm big enough to talk to the Kwame Browns, to talk to the Tommies, to talk to the Hassan Campbells, to talk to the most hated blogger, to talk to all of these platforms and say, are we the examples of the men that we say are real men? I think that's fair. I think that's fair to ask that question. I don't think that makes me better than you. I don't think that it makes you better than me, but I think that somebody needs to ask a genuine question. We want consistency. We want positivity. We want our children to grow up in environments that's safe. We want our kids to be productive. We want them to have the opportunities that either we failed to have or for some reason, we didn't have the know-how to go get. And now we're pushing our kids. We're pushing them every day to be better, to think positive, to go out there. You can be a doctor. You can be a lawyer. You can be an astronaut. You can go to NFL. You can go to the NBA. Well, you can go to the military. We're telling our kids they can be the best they can be. But for some reason, as parents, every single time we are challenged to be better, we fall short. We fall short. We listen to drama and gossip and entertainment. But we tell our kids to go do that book report. We tell our kids to go get a job. We tell our kids to work on their credit. We tell our kids to go get that college degree. But we sit down and we listen to things that don't say nothing about productivity. And that makes us better as men and women. Well, who cheering for that? Who applauding for that? Who happy about that? I'm not a celebrity. I'm an average Joe, just like a lot of us. And imagine an average Joe telling us, man, listen, we got a whole lot of great things that we can focus on while we are focused on negativity. So if you are a politician, you are a celebrity in whatever fashion, can you imagine those people not being worried about what we as everyday average citizens need to be focused on? Well, they don't have those problems. P. Diddy don't have the problems that ToughLove got. Michael Jordan don't have the problems that ToughLove got. So when they give their advice, it's cool. Yeah, okay, thanks. But I understand, bro, we in the mud. If you in a mansion and I'm in the mud, well, it's going to be a different thought process. We're going to move a little bit differently. We're going to prioritize things differently, right? Some people live in check to check, don't have $5,000 to their name in credit or cash. I want you guys to think about that. So we're fighting two different types of fights. So when I speak as an average man, right? I'm speaking because I understand us as average men, the problems that we have. So if you speaking as a celebrity, of course it's going to sound different. Of course you're going to look at it a little bit crazy and wild because you don't have that same energy, because I'm fighting for now. I'm fighting for the possibilities of betterment. I'm questioning things that just don't look right because I understand that we as black people, we as a black community, we are impressionable. We think everything that glitters is gold. Hell, we think that shit that glitters is platinum. And when we can't ordain it to be positivity, we ordain it to be entertainment. And that entertainment is a liability to our community. Am I losing anybody? Am I losing anybody? Somebody's listening to this message and trying to find some type of way to pick it apart, some type of way to make it negative, some type of way to say he's talking about Hassan, he's talking about this, where he's talking about, and literally I'm holding us all accountable as men. And I'm asking these questions, and I keep on doing it, and I'm gonna say it again. Are we the men that we say that we promote the definitions of? Because every man that I'm mentioning right now gives their definitions of what real men are. And my question is, are we consistent with that definition? Or are we falling short? All of these grown, educated women, powerful, courageous women, mothers, sisters, daughters, educators. And you sit back and you watch these men fight, and you call it entertainment. You cheer for it. You donate to it. You rally for it. So let me ask you something. If you never encourage a grown man to be a grown man, you never encourage men to be better, what do you expect in the long run? Because I hear a lot of women say you can't find a good man. You can't find a reasonable man. Well, no one's screaming they want a reasonable man. No one's screaming they want a good man. No one's screaming we don't want to see the negativity. So it's an oxymoron to say, okay, I'm going to listen to y'all beef over here, and then I'm going to run over here to this channel and say none of these men are good. But won't you tell the men that are producing all this negativity, that's rallying for this negativity, won't you tell them you want to see better? Where are the videos directed at these men that you see that are constantly promoting negativity? Where are those videos at? I see more videos in the praise of these type of men than in the constructive criticism of these type of men. Let's talk. Trendon says it's in the twilight zone. You're exactly right. Salute to the chat. I see y'all. I see that. I don't think, I used to think, you know what, it could be a kumbaya situation where all men could come together and we can actually focus on X, Y, and Z. But I see that every man don't hold their community as important as other men. Every man don't hold prioritizing concerns as important as other men. So whereas if let's say I'm on social media to promote a message, have the conversation that where men and women can come together and agree to disagree, but listen for comprehension and not just to reply. Everyone doesn't have that type of platform set up. And everyone doesn't have the know-how to handle a platform like that. And I've seen numerous content creators go in different directions based on likes and views and based on donations. Now, whereas I would say, if you're going in a direction that you feel is more lucrative to your channel, that is zero positivity or 5% positivity and 95% negativity, and you're doing it because you're going to get likes and views from it, I would question you as a man. I would question your definition that you provide to your subscribers on what real men are. So when you do these things like, you know, you promote these days where you're calling men out, I would put yourself on those days. And I would say, hey, I failed to be positive because I wanted to make money. I failed to be productive because I wanted to talk about drama and gossip and bullshit. So you should put yourself in those days. Like, I don't have any special days here on Tough Love where I dedicate to say, well, let me call out this YouTuber, or let me talk about this YouTuber, family and kids and child support. Like, I don't have days like that. So it's interesting that when you come across YouTubers who dedicate their time to do those things, but even more interesting that you have people that cheer for those things. That's even more shocking. Now, it's already a letdown that you got a man that's leading the charge for that. But it's even more shocking that you have other men in the comment section cheering for it. We always talk about the black race, and we always talking about what the white man do to us. And that's why I can't get on that bandwagon of let's go after DJ Vlad and let's go after DJ Academics and let's go after this, because it be the men that are average at best promoting the most heinous and craziest stuff. And you could look, I'm gonna be honest with you, you could be financially blessed and still be average at best mentally. And it be these guys that are mentally average at best that promote the most heinous things or try to give you a direction that you shouldn't be thinking of or going in as a people. Imagine me talking about white supremacy and racism and all of this other crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? But online, I'm promoting heinous conversations against another black man. I'm holding panels to bring down other black men. I'm talking about other man's children and their family and what they got going on in the child support. Like, imagine that. Would you guys not think that that's inconsistent? Would you guys not think that that's being a weak weasel or a snake or whatever it is people want to say? You want me to tell black people to focus on racism while you participate in black on black crime on racism. I'm sorry, on social media. We too scared to have tough conversations. Uppity says some people are just negative to the heart and soul and core, and there is no talking them out of it. I believe that. I believe that. And I believe that us, you know what I'm saying, just us in general, I think that we definitely need to look at those things and say, well, those are people we need to leave to themselves. Those are people we need to let lead themselves. And I think it's important to have videos out there that say those things. When someone is promoting such negativity and these heinous actions and talking about people's families and, you know, doxing them and putting out all this information and joking, and we're going to leave you to lead yourself. We're not going to donate to you. We're not going to subscribe to you. We're not going to cheer for you. We're not going to root for you. We're going to lead you or leave you to lead yourself. I think that's what's important. I don't know. I think it's a high level of negativity. And I think that if you're going to be online and telling other men that, you know, you're not a man based on my definition, I think that you need to be consistent in that definition that you're preaching about. And if you fall to be, you know, if you fail to be consistent, I think that your subscribers should hold you responsible. You know, I think they should hold you responsible. You can't say, well, I got a degree from this place and I was in the military for 55 years and I was this and I was that. And I was like, well, you don't see the inconsistency? You don't know what inconsistency is? You don't see a pattern of misbehavior? You don't see a pattern of nonsense? You don't see the production and a promotion of negativity and drama? Did you miss all of that? Because to me, when a man says this is a definition, well, hey, I got to respect. This is the definition. Okay, cool. I got you. Understood. That is your definition of what a man is. But that can't be your definition if you're talking about other people's kids. It can't be the definition if you're promoting negativity and causing other people's harm. That can't be the definition of what a man is. Right? I don't know why we sit around and want to see people do each other harm. And I don't, me personally, if you're going to threaten someone online, my thought process is, I don't think you about that life. Because anybody that would be about that life would be smart enough to realize, well, maybe I shouldn't be promoting this online if this is what I'm going to do. Again, zero man shit. Hopefully we can find a way to entertain ourselves without degrading ourselves. Because when we degrade ourselves, it's not just, oh, look at what these black people doing amongst black people. It's let the Hispanic race, the Oriental race, the Caucasian race, all of these other races are looking at them and like, look at what they do to themselves. Can you imagine I'm gonna ask you something. Can you imagine DJ Vlad looking at some of these content creators and say, look at what they do online, but they call me a culture vulture? Look at what they're doing to themselves, but they're calling me a culture vulture. These are self-inflicted wounds. This is self-sabotage. This is self-hatred, self-degradation. Look at what they do to themselves. Can you imagine a white guy sitting around? Hell, let's say Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam looking at some of these black content creators, both men and women, saying, look at what they say about each other. Look at how they talk about one another's kids and their parents and put their phone numbers and their information out there. Look at what they do to themselves. And anybody who says, hey, maybe we should do better, they ostracize them, they talk about them, they try to destroy them, so that way they can continue to promote the negativity and drama. But then everybody, the second you get with somebody in the comments, the first thing one of the people in their comments will say, well, I have a degree. I have my own business. I have this in the bank and I've done this and yet you have said nothing about all of this nonsense that you've been seeing. So we don't give a shit about your degree. We don't give a damn about your credit score. Because you can't sit in the comment section and act like you don't see the shit. And then when you see somebody's willing to speak out against it, now, oh, well, I have this and I have that. Well, why would you run to somebody else's page to defend somebody that you know is doing a bunch of negative shit? But the person that is willing to stand up and say, hey, listen, bro, we can do better than this. We definitely can do better than this. Now all of a sudden your degree comes into play and what your credit score is and what your career is, but it didn't come into play when you was hearing all that negativity. You was too scared to stand against the negativity, and that's why I don't get about people. I don't get it. Lovely says they start off with a positive message, but somehow they got lost on the way to grandma's house because that positive message isn't getting them views. Well, this is what I was talking about with Uncle Stu the other day, y'all. You know, I was telling Uncle Stu, like, you know, in regards to my channel, you know, I noticed that there are a lot of people who have jewels that they drop. Like we call them jewels, right? We drop the jewels, you know, these positive nuggets. But some type of way they keep on going back and reverting back with the negativity. And my thought process is, if you as a subscriber, you want to see if you really care about that content creator, you're going to voice your opinion. I want to see better from you. I expect better from you. I know that you have the potential to do great things. You have a voice. You are articulate. You are courageous. You're intelligent. You have a certain presence about you. You can do better. I expect better. I need better. I demand better. But yet you just sit back and you allow these people to wallow in the mud. You allow these people to go down the rabbit hole. And I think that's the issue with our culture. It's like, I'm not going to talk to my brothers on the block. I'm not going to talk to my sisters in the street. I'm not going to do anything to make things better. But I'm going to complain about it in silence. I'm going to complain about it in silence. And the second some type of police brutality happens, now Black Lives Matter. But it didn't matter before a white man killed a black person. Something to think about. Something to think about. Uppity says, describers that tell content creators to do better get doxxed and blacklisted. I hear you. I hear you. Content creators make an example out of everyone holding them accountable. I think what people need to understand is that, and I've mentioned this before, because I've heard a couple people say it now in reference to, like, you know, ha ha ha, you know, That's a Tasha K and Cardi B thing, and I'm not gonna get sued and all this other stuff or whatever. Tasha K is not the only person that can get an example made out of. And if you feel like it's worth it, then you go right ahead. But like I said, as long as you keep it respectful and you're not doing anything crazy, you can hold people accountable. I heard the definition of someone's accountability, and to me, I was like, okay, but to me, I think you're off. You know what I'm saying? I think you're off with accountability. Accountability is a standard of action. It's a standard of action. Either you fall below, you meet the standard, or you rise above the standard. It's a level. And I think the level was given out, by us as a human race. We gave that level. This is what men do. This is what women do. There's a level of standard. There's a level of accountability. You don't have to be a policeman. You don't have to be a judge. You don't have to be a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there is a level. And once you don't meet that level, then they need to be addressed, which is crazy to me, because I see people who say, I don't hold people accountable, but you address people in a manner that says you do hold them accountable. You do hold them to a standard. So it's like, well, which one is it? Which one is it? Are we holding people accountable, or are we not? Or when it's convenient, we hold people accountable. When it's for views and clicks, we hold people accountable. I don't know, something to think about. Let's Talk says, bro, I fell victim to uploading negativity for a time too, but I couldn't keep doing it, especially when I see everything that's happening around the world. I hear you, man. I hear you. It's all how there says it's everything. If everything wasn't about clicks and views and money, you might have better. You're right. I think it's about, here's a thought process, right? I think there are a lot of positive people out there. When I say positive, people that want to do better and people that want to see better. You ain't got to be no preacher preaching positivity, right? Because I see a lot of content creators who do the air quotes, or try to, kind of make positivity a joke. But the thought process is these will be the same people that when something happens to their spouses or their children, now they want to breathe positivity, right? Your kids out there shooting up the block, right? Nothing but raising hell. And as soon as something happened, now it's put the guns down. Let's be positive. So before something happens bad and heinous, you got somebody saying, let's talk about positivity, because they realize the bigger picture. I think there's a lot of people who are older, who are middle-aged and younger, that don't understand the big picture. It is about clicks and views. Like, I see a lot of people channels starting to flourish because they worry about the negativity. And I get it, man. You want your channel to be in the algorithm. You want your channel to, you don't care how you get subscribers. As long as you get subscribers, as long as you get in the check, and somebody's always going to donate to negativity. And I get that. And it's hard. It's just like I was telling, I was talking to somebody when we did our jail mentorship program or whatever. And it's so funny because the guys that were saying, most of them were saying it's hard to stop selling drugs because I don't have a quicker way to make money. And some of them get so old that they really don't have a skill set. So, the only type of leadership they got is, well, hey, I can break down these bags. I can split this up. I can put this up. I can take this to the south side. I can take this to the north end. So they got great minds, but it hasn't been developed in an office setting. It hasn't been pushed and manifested in a setting other than a street setting. So that's why they talk a certain way. They act a certain way. They rationalize a certain type of way. And I see a lot of that on YouTube. A lot of people haven't been taught a different way to communicate. They haven't been taught. That's why you see a lot of people who they speak as if, well, I'm about to cause you harm or do you harm. And I'm gonna be honest with you. When you're issuing those threats online, you can be held responsible for that, especially if you're dealing with a person who knows how to handle that legally. You can be held responsible for that, but people don't realize the ramifications of that. They think, well, I'm just making a video. You know what I'm saying? And then when you say, okay, well, I'm gonna make these threats videos and then I'm gonna take them down and then it's null and void, but somebody done already downloaded the video. You understand what I'm saying? So a person says, well, I fear for my life, and you're making threat videos, and now you encouraging your subscribers to go after me, et cetera, et cetera. There's a ripple effect to the things that you do online. And I was hoping that the situation with Tasha K would be a clear common denominator for content creators to understand, bro, I just can't be doing anything online. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. And people don't believe the stove is hot until you burn them. They don't believe it. There's an opportunity for us to so they haven't learned yet. I believe you. CE says, I like Kwame Brown and you, but Kwame has lost his way. IMO. He had a message, but lost all by the hangers on. I believe that we all have a message, and I believe that I think when you get over a certain level of subscribers, a certain amount of subscribers, but that's like anything though. When you're used to, you're let's just say you at a mud level, we at the dirt level, right? And then all of a sudden we get to the high rise, we don't quite remember the mud level. We start forgetting some of the things that we valued at the mud level. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I said I hope that, once our channel grows, I said our channel is ToughLove channel, I hope that I remember the mud level. I hope that I remember my message. I hope that I remember the energy that I put in of saying we need to think more positive. Hopefully I don't give in and say, let me just make my channel the beef channel. And I'm not saying that all content creators, that's what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. And honestly, I'm unsubscribed from a lot of people. So I don't know directly what a lot of people are doing. But I'm just saying us as consumers. I don't want to send a message to America, because this is what we're doing. We're sending a message to America that we only care about drill music. We only care about womanizing. We don't care about, as men, we don't care about being in a home, taking care of our children. We only care about bashing one another online. We only care about disrespecting authority. There's so many things that we do on social media, especially YouTube, that promotes all the stereotypes that's already been placed against us, and we don't care about it. So this is everyone from the average at best to celebrity level. We promote all of these stereotypes, and for some reason, nobody is saying why. Why are we doing this? And somebody gonna say, hey, well, duh, it's for clicks and views, it's for money, it's for this and it's for that. And it's like, man, we selling our souls. We selling out our communities. We selling out our black women. We selling out our black children. We selling out our black men for $1 on YouTube. What is it? 10 cents per view? 7 cents? I'm going to sell you out, black brother, so that way I can get 15 cents. I'm going to sell you out, black sister, and bash you so I can get 15 cents. I'm going to sell out the next generation of black community so I can get 15 cents. Ain't building nothing, but I'm going to act like I'm building it. Ain't promoting anything positive, but I'm going to act like I'm building it. Imagine ToughLove saying, let me find content creators so we all can sit down and we can all disrespect another content creator. Why would we cheer for that? Why would that be like something that's cool? Lil Jesus Zeus World says, I don't think so. I think go check my last month or so. It hasn't been a topic. I'm not going to dismiss your comment though. That probably would be for other channels. But I think you're right. A lot of people are feeding into things. But I think if you guys are listening to what I'm saying that if we are, as content creators, us as male content creators, are we the examples because everybody's giving their definition. That is something I think that is a medium for every man that I've heard, whether it's in a manosphere, whether it's just, solo dolo, and this individual guy over here. Everyone is giving their perspective and their outtake on what men do, what they don't do, what men say, what they don't say, how men act, how they don't act, the type of women men mess with and they don't mess with, right? Everyone's giving their definition. And my question to the audience right now, do you feel that these men that are giving the definitions, that they say this is what a real man is, do you think that they are examples of what it is they're saying the definition is? This is not me saying, oh, you're failing to do this and you're failing. No, I'm asking on all of our behalves, do you feel that we are the examples of the real men we say we are? I've given numerous examples, being a protector, a provider, a role model, a leader. So, hey, hold me to that standard, hold me to that level. And for those other men that say, no, this is the definition. My definition of being a man don't allow me to falter. That means it doesn't allow me to hop on social media and do anything that I wouldn't do off of social media. Lil Zeus World, I appreciate that, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. But I'm hoping that you guys, I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. This is not an attack video. I'm putting myself in the pot too. Matter of fact, I said it earlier, but I did a self-evaluation, and I wanted to reach out to some people who knew me and knew about my channel and asked them what they thought or whatever. And some of it was enlightening. Some of it was like a little tough love or whatever case may be. And I had to check myself, and I said, you know what? I said, let me speak on these things right here. And I wanted to ask, some other like I can't tag everybody, but I tagged, a couple other people, and I was like, man, dude, are we the examples of what we say real men are? What if a young man stumbles across our page? What is he learning? What is he learning in reference to business? What is he learning in reference to relationship? What is he learning in reference to systematic racism? What is he learning in reference to investment in property? What is he learning in reference to trading and coding? What is he learning in reference to love languages? What are we teaching these young men? What are we teaching them? I think that's important. I think that everybody, whether you have a college education, you have a high school diploma, you have a GED, or you never went to school at all, I think everybody can understand this specific question that I'm asking right now. Are we the examples? Are we the examples? Every time we go live, we get at least 100 views, right? we get 100 views, right? 100 views of people watching us do what? 100 views of people watching us say what? As a black man, do I need to sit and bash black women? No, every black woman did not do nothing to me. Every black woman did not do something to me. Every black man did not do something to me. All black communities did not harm me. All white people did not harm me. There are some bad apples in the bunch. But even those bad apples, if it happened to me personally, I'm going to keep it personal, and I'm going to deal with that on the personal side. I think that we've all had something happen to us personally. Personally. Now, for some, they feel like, well, their personal situation needs to be promoted with an aspect of all. I hold all men responsible. I hold all women responsible. I hold the entire black community responsible. But we don't hold ourselves responsible. That's my thing. Are we holding ourselves responsible? Forget if we hold another man or another woman accountable. Are we holding ourselves accountable? I'm hoping that you guys understand where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? The energy in this video. Again, this video was not made to bash anybody or make anybody look bad. I'm addressing all male content creators, and I'm throwing myself in the front of everybody, of the addressing, because you have to do a self-evaluation before you start talking to other people. So, and this is not requiring no major response. you know. But this is just to put that energy out there to say, man, you know, if we say we are men and we say these are the definitions individually that we've come up with, are we the examples that we say, you know, real men are? And I think that women, the young generation, and other people, I think they can appreciate a conversation like this. Because if we have no conversations like this, then things continue to go ape shit, haywire. And do I think this will change anybody's point of view? Maybe one. But if you've ever listened to any of my videos, you know one person being changed or being enlightened or promoting a bigger perspective, you know I'm all about at least one. I appreciate you guys giving me your time. I'm hoping that everything that I said, it resonated with you guys. We can agree to disagree. I seen that cat jet across the street. But I'm hoping that, you know, you guys take it with sincerity. I appreciate those of you saying that I understand. You know, I haven't seen that many trolls in here, so that was good. Maybe I said something that resonated with them, or maybe they see that, you know, this is not an attack video. It's all love, man. You know, I'm very optimistic that we could do better. I'm very optimistic that there are some positive people out there and powerful people. There are some powerful content creators on social media. There are some powerful men on social media, which is the reason why I feel like this conversation needs to be had, because I think that you guys are subscribers to a lot of these powerful men that you can remind. We got to get back to the focus, back to the message, because there are a lot of things that we could talk about, you know. And I'm gonna say this real quick in closing. If you are a content creator and your content is about hurting other people and disrespecting other people, whether it's their family or them directly or whatever, you know, I hope that you guys can find a better way to communicate, a better way to spend your energy. You know, to me, it's not about putting court documents on people and disrespecting people's kids and family members and baby daddies and baby mamas. It's like, man, I get it, man. It's clicks and views. For some people, it's funny, and that's what makes it sad. For some people, it's funny. But I'm hoping that we could do better. So I'm gonna tag a couple people in this one right here, and I'm hoping that they take this as a this is not even constructive criticism. This is just a video, some thoughts, you know what I'm saying, and nothing negative really behind it or whatever. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy your day. Until next time, y'all adult up. Peace. I appreciate everybody being here. Be safe.